If you've been on the internet at all, chances are you've come across Johnny Somali, whether you wanted to or not. Why? Because Johnny got famous, but not for any good reason. Nope, Johnny Somali made a name for himself by being one of the most hated figures on the internet. He's the type of dude who, instead of doing something useful with his platform, like, entertaining people, decided that harassing random strangers in public was his ticket to fame. And boy, did he pick some wild places to take his antics. So, let's start at the beginning. Johnny Somali wasn't always a household name. In fact, like a lot of internet figures, he started off with some relatively harmless content, live streaming, trying to get attention. But soon enough, he realized that just being entertaining wasn't enough to stand out. Oh no! For Johnny, the key to internet fame was doing dumb shit and getting caught doing it. So, there he was, in the United States, starting out like a lot of other cringe streamers, doing pranks. But not just any pranks. No, Johnny decided the best way to make himself famous was by going into public spaces and starting confrontations with strangers. And when I say confrontations, I mean full-on antagonizing. Picture this, a crowded street, random passers-by, and Johnny there, camera in hand, making rude comments, annoying the hell out of everyone around him. It wasn't funny. It wasn't even edgy. It was just awkward. But somehow, that awkwardness translated into views. And when you're chasing clout, that's all that matters. Johnny quickly realized he had an audience for his chaos. And from there, it only went downhill. In 2023, Johnny decided to take his brand of prank global. First stop? Japan. Known for its culture of politeness, respect, and order, yeah, this is exactly where you want to go if you want to be a massive douchebag. Johnny was in Tokyo, and his idea of fun was to disrupt the peace and annoy the locals. He goes into a quiet ramen shop, sets up his camera, and begins blasting obnoxious audio, yelling at the staff, and basically turning the restaurant into a circus. The staff looks completely confused, trying to continue their work, while Johnny just keeps filming, thinking it's hilarious. His yelling random insults in the background, just causing chaos for no reason. But here's the thing, Japan doesn't mess around when it comes to public behavior. What Johnny saw as harmless fun was, to the people around him, a nightmare. Word spread quickly, and Johnny was arrested for trespassing and interfering with business operations. He got off relatively easy with just a fine and a slap on the wrist, but that didn't stop him. No, Johnny just took his act to the next country. By 2024, Johnny was feeling invincible. He'd gotten away with his public disruptions in Japan, so why not try something new? Israel, it turned out, was his next target. Now, if you know anything about Israel, it's a country with serious historical and cultural significance. And Johnny? He was about to act like he didn't give a damn. During one of his adventures, Johnny wandered into a protest in Tel Aviv. It was heated, with police officers everywhere. And guess who thought it would be a good idea to taunt a female police officer? Yep, Johnny. He walked up to her, making disgusting, suggestive comments, all while filming the whole thing. People around him are visibly disgusted, but Johnny just keeps pushing buttons because he needs to get those reactions. But wait, this is Johnny Somali we're talking about, so he didn't stop there. He made his way to Jerusalem and thought it'd be hilarious to desecrate the Western Wall by posting controversial pictures on it. For those who aren't aware, this is one of the holiest sites in Judaism, and Johnny, in his infinite wisdom, thought it'd be a good idea to treat it like a backdrop for his next prank. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Israel was done with him. They detained him for his actions, and the outrage back home was huge. The backlash was so intense that he couldn't just slip away unnoticed this time. Johnny was arrested again, this time facing more serious charges. Okay, so you might be thinking, surely Johnny's learned his lesson by now. Right? Wrong. He flies straight from Israel to South Korea, a country that's known for its very high standards when it comes to respect and public decency. He hits Seoul and immediately starts doing what he does best, pissing people off. Johnny's now decided that statues are his new target. Specifically, the Statue of Peace, a monument in Seoul dedicated to the survivors of wartime sexual slavery. For those who don't know, this is a statue of deep significance to the Korean people, and it's not something you mess with. Johnny, however, didn't care. He strolls up to the statue, kisses it, dances around it, and laughs while filming. The video goes viral, and not in a good way. South Koreans are furious. They flood social media with disgust, and the government steps in. This wasn't just a prank. This was a cultural violation. Johnny is arrested, and South Korea is ready to throw the book at him. He's facing serious charges, including disturbing the peace, public indecency, and even violating their Sexual Violence Act due to his earlier deepfake incident. And this time, there's no way out. Now, here's where things get really serious. Unlike his previous arrests, where Johnny was either let off with a slap on the wrist or given a fine, this time, he's looking at real time behind bars. And South Korea isn't known for going easy on people like him. He's facing years in prison, years. To make matters worse, Johnny's trial isn't even expected to start until 2 or 3 years from now. So, while he waits for his day in court, he's stuck in a South Korean jail cell. And to be honest, he's probably still streaming, still thinking he's some kind of internet martyr, but the reality is starting to set in. This isn't the type of fame he wanted. But don't worry, his audience is still there. A small but dedicated group of fans still watches his content on sites like Rumble and Part 1. They donate, they cheer, they think he's some kind of hero. But here's the thing, his antics might have entertained some people at first, but the tide has turned. The more countries he pissed off, the fewer places he's allowed to go.